Hello and welcome back to the Formula 1 chat. Today we will be discussing whether Logan Sargeant can fulfil America's Formula 1 dream. We're going to start with what is the American F1 dream. Of course, in the first 28 years of Formula 1, we had two American world champions. We had fulfil and we had Mario Andretti. But in the 40 years since then, we've not seen an American even win a race in Formula 1, let alone become world champion. So, Logan Sargeant on the grid this year, probably the best American we've had since Mario Andretti in 1978. So it's been a while.
Scott Speed, what a driver.
Scott Speed has been here, been and gone. But other than that, we've not really had anyone American. I mean, in the last 20 years, I don't think we've had another American driver other than Scott Speed. So interesting, obviously, but given America's history in motorsport, we've got huge manufacturers such as Ford that have come out of America, but we've also got series like NASCAR and IndyCar. America, for Americans, motorsport is a massive thing, yet we've not seen anyone come into Formula 1 from America and actually perform. We thought Colin Herter might be the first driver to make that step over for a while. He didn't get the super license points, but Logan Sargeant was snapped up by Williams. So
Good
should we look specifically at Logan Sargeant then?
Good driver, really good driver.
Yes, of course, born in Florida, everyone's favourite part of America, has had an impressive career, it has to be said so far. In karting, he won the Karting World Championships in 2015, given that was his, I think, 7th year in karting. Yeah, 7th year in karting. So he did spend a long time in karts. Most drivers move into cars before then, but yeah, he is a karting world champion, of course.
Yeah.
We haven't had many other American karting world champions. No. He follows in the footsteps of drivers like Max Verstappen. I know Alex Albon was a karting world champion. So, and among a strong crop of drivers, and of course then went into the Formula Renault series, which is where most people then go and hone their race crop before, of course, the FIA Formula Feeder Series Championships, the actual FIA ones. 2019, he did all right, didn't he?
He did do all right.
In Formula 3 in Carlin, he scored points on 4 occasions, finished 19th in the championship, which, given his teammates, Drugovic and Tepe Naturi, finished 16th and 24th. That is pretty decent. Then, of course, he moved to Prema.
I mean, that was also a really, really strong season for him.
Yep. 2020 switched to Prema, partnering Federic Vesti and Oscar Piastri. Yeah. Very strong partnership. Very difficult to get anything from it. But after 3 podiums, America scored his first F3 victory in the feature race at Silverstone. He had a really good season, finishing 3rd in the standings. Only Porsche and Piastri finished ahead of him.
Not a bad 2 drivers to be ahead of him.
No.
And I think
he should have moved up to F2.
He should have. And I mean, looking at those numbers, looking at championship, on occasion he was quicker than Oscar Piastri and Teo Pourchaire. Yeah. But I think it was just a little bit of lack of consistency that kind of let him down.
2021 though, he had to continue again in Formula 3. Formula 2 just was not financially viable for him, but he did really, really well. Finished 7th in a Charouz.
Yeah.
I think that showed he had quality. But probably deserved to make the step up a year earlier. And then, of course, last season, Formula 2, something we'll be a lot more familiar with. Logan Sargeant, very decent
very strong.
Opening season.
P3 in the championship. I mean, he was in the title fight until his car let him down in Castellet. So, really good season for him. And obviously, after 1 season in Formula 2, he did get that push up to Formula 1.
And I think it's deserved. I think it is deserved. Yeah. He's clearly a good driver. Yes, you could make an argument for other drivers such as Jack Doohan, but I think overall Logan Sargeant does deserve his place in Formula 1.
Definitely.
If he was promoted at the same time as Pourchaire and Piastri, would he be in Formula 1 now? Because Pourchaire isn't.
That is true. I do wonder maybe if it was a year too... It would have been a year too early.
Obviously, Piastri has made it, but he had to wait a year anyway. So, yes, he took a year extra in Formula 3, but he's got to the same place
that Piastri got to
Piastri
the same time.
Quicker than Pourchaire. Yeah. So,
and arguably, looking at the car and looking at the pace they've shown the first 2 races, Logan's been quicker than Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, well, hard to tell because obviously Williams, McLaren, both teams, I don't really know where they are on pace at the moment. But Logan Sargeant, evidently a very fast driver. But the biggest question, can he fulfil that American F1 dream? It's been a long time since we've had an American world champion of Formula 1. It's been a very long time since we've even had a race winner that's come from America.
Yeah.
we'll start with that latter because I think it's a more achievable one. Can Logan Sargeant win a race in Formula 1?
I mean, I'm an avid Logan Sargeant fan. I don't think it'll be this season, obviously. But I think this season he's got to prove himself because I don't think he'll win it in that Williams. Unless Williams... To be fair though, Williams are on the up. Could he be, Albon, maybe, him and Albon, could they lead Williams up the grid back to where they used to be?
Here's an interesting question. Where is the step up for Logan Sargeant? In Formula 1 right now?
It is difficult because obviously most of the top teams are either falling away, so they're falling away from the front, or they have a very solid driver lineup.
Is it that he's got a hope that Williams either fly through the order? Is he going to be looking at potentially Andretti if they were to buy AlphaTauri, if they were to come into Formula 1?
Being the spearhead of an all-American team.
Of course, and Mario Andretti, well, the last Formula 1 world champion to come from America and the last F1 winner to come from America. So I'm sure that name will hold a lot of power over Sargent's decision.
I definitely think Sargeant will do well. I think if he has he has the minerals to be a race winner in Formula 1. It's whether, I think a car, obviously, he needs a race, a car that can win a race. But I think it'll also be a test of his, experience. Obviously, first season. I don't think he'll win this season, as I said. So he'll get this season under his belt.
Think he'll score points this year?
I do. I think the Williams look quick enough. We saw Albon score points in Bahrain, and Sargeant. Look at Sargeant.
Just had other points in Bahrain. Little off the pace in
that's why
Jeddah.
I look at it and go, but unlucky. He had his whole qualifying issues in Jeddah. I look at Bahrain. He matched Lando Norris's lap time exactly, and was unlucky to get knocked out in Q1 there because of chronological order. But I think he's shown promise in the first two races. I think the Williams car has also shown promise in the first two races. So put those two things together, he will get points this year. It's whether he can push on. So I think he'll do enough this year to retain his spot in Williams or find another team.
Yeah. I think Sargent's issue now is where he goes. Because he's either got to hope for a miracle with Williams or that he does enough that he earns himself, a Mercedes seat.
Yeah, be that.
It looks like the only option. Because Red Bull have got an infinite list of rookies.
Yeah, they wouldn't take on a Williams, academy.
No, and I think if Red Bull are going to look elsewhere outside their academy, Lando Norris will be their first option. So
then where would McLaren look?
Not probably. I think they're more likely to go for Alex Albon. Bit more experience.
But then I'd also say, is there more chance of winning a race in a Williams long term or winning a race in McLaren long term?
That is a big question, isn't it?
I think Williams have got further long term success.
I think McLaren have more funding behind them.
They do, and they're in talks for a Red Bull engine come 2026. So.
Red Bull are also struggling with what they're going to do with an engine. Separate point for a separate video, but they thought Porsche were coming in. Porsche pulled out of a deal. Unhappy with the terms. So, I'm sure that'll be an interesting point we'll discuss at some point this year.
I think Sargent's proven himself that he can win races in obviously other series.
Yeah.
In F1, I think he'll just want to have a good seat. That's the thing. He doesn't want to come in and he hasn't crashed yet, which I think is pretty decent for a rookie.
This is tempting fate because we're recording before the Australian Grand Prix. Forgot to mention that when we talk about results, but we could be looking at this.
I do think, obviously, we're talking about America here. I do think he'll be helped by the fact we have 3 American Grand Prix this year.
Will he though? Because is there not just more pressure? I know he'll have a lot of fans, but if anyone who watched Drive to Survive will see how Yuki Tsunoda was under so much scrutiny and pressure at Japan, because it's so overwhelming. Everyone's there and focused on you because you're the American driver. There's not 2 American drivers. It's not like there was that great American driver 5 years ago. He is the only American driver with any sort of promise since Mario Andretti.
I think he'll live up to it, though.
You think Logan Sargeant could become a Formula 1 world champion? Okay,
not a Formula 1 world champion, but I think he'd ride pressure. He came in his first Formula 2 season and came 3rd in the championship. Only behind Felipe Drugovich, who looked like
someone who backs Logan Sargeant to the hill. You don't think he can win a world championship?
No, I think he's got the minerals. I just don't think it will ever fall right for him. I don't think he'll ever end up with a championship winning car when he's in the form of his life. I just don't think there'll be a point.
It's obviously impossible to tell, is it?
And obviously, yes, he's good, but Max Verstappen's going to be around for the next
that
7,
is the
8
issue,
years.
isn't it? Charles Leclerc,
and
Max
even if Max
Verstappen,
goes,
Lando
Leclerc,
Norris.
Lando, Russell, I think Sargeant.
And that's without anyone coming through the junior category.
Fernando Alonso's still probably be here in the next 7 years. Racing
Fernando
at 50.
Alonso. Yeah, sticking around.
There's a lot. I think a lot of people like Lance Stroll got the minerals to win a world championship. Put him in the right car.
No way have you just said Lance Stroll's better than Logan Sargeant. Well, right now, of course, yeah, but
you
imagine Sargeant's got a higher ceiling than Stroll.
I think so.
Both with LS as their initials, though, so that's a thing.
I think he'll have. I don't think he'll win a world championship, but I think he'll have a very successful F1 career.
Surprisingly modest views from you there. I'd probably say the same.
I could sit here and go, Logan. I mean, as a Logan Sargeant fan, I could sit here and go, he's going to break Lewis Hamilton's record, 8 world championships. Here he comes.
I think Sargeant and Russell make the perfect white man's Mercedes. They're the same person.
I think Sargeant
but one's American.
I think Sargeant's got a bit more fight about him.
But look at them. They are genuinely the same person. So I think they should join together and form this super team.
That would be a really interesting dynamic. Because who would be... Because say this is 2-3 years in the future when Sargeant's kind of developed into a very, very good driver.
And then the Tory and the Trumpy. Oh, this is going to be brilliant. Got to happen.
I think Sargeant would beat George Russell.
Oh, controversial.
I think Sargeant has a higher ceiling
now, you'd imagine.
Oh, no, definitely. Well,
you never know.
But I think Sargeant's got a higher ceiling than George Russell.
That's a bit of a bold claim. I think you disrespect George Russell because you don't like the bloke. He's proven that in junior categories that he's around the same calibre as as Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris.
He has.
So.
But did he go into his first F2 season and come third in the championship?
Yeah.
There you go then, they're on par.
I think he might have done.
They're on par.
I can't remember where Russell
I think I look at the feeder series and Sargeant's kind of had the same as Russell did.
Was Russell not the F2 champion in his second season?
Surely not.
Let's have a look.
Because I thought Lando and then Leclerc.
I thought Leclerc won it before Lando. Leclerc was
he would have, wouldn't he?
Was in F1 before. I've searched Russell, it's given me Jack Russells. Hang on.
Or just goes to F2 champions.
Oh no, because then that won't tell you where George Russell finished.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Where did he finish in his... Let's see.
Sorry, it's probably creating riveting content, but I want to find out.
Yeah, we're just comparing Logan Sargeant to George Russell.
He joined in 28. He did it in 2018. That's just where he finished. He won the title.
Okay.
He won it in his debut season.
Yeah, but oh god, that's quite good.
He won it in 2018 to beat Lando Norris to the title.
Oh, that's really good. That. Fair enough.
Yeah, he became only the fourth driver to win it in his first season. He became only the fourth driver to win GP3/F3 and then GP2 and F2. Can you guess the other three? Here we go. Nice way to end the video. A little bit of trivia. Yeah. And if you guys at home want to play along, then skip the next 20 seconds, then guess them. Well, there you go. There's one given.
Max didn't do it.
Oh, sorry. There's another four.
Max skipped F2, didn't he?
Yeah. Max did do that.
Leclerc.
Yep. Lewis Leclerc.
Oh, this is a tough one, you know.
And then two blokes with the same first name.
Two blokes with the same first name. I'm trying to think who's on the grid. He's got a first name that's similar.
Only one of these is still on the grid today.
Alright. Oh, this is good. This is tough, you know.
Yeah. Who's won consecutive GP3, F3 and GP2 or F2 titles?
Ones. Oh, Nico Hulkenberg and Nico Rosberg.
Smashed it. Well done. Well, that rounds off today.
I was like, no one else is called Alexander or Lando.
Neither of them won consecutive F3 and F2 titles. But yeah, I think that rounds off today's video.
Logan Sargeant. I think we're talking about June as a whole. He'll do the
has he already fulfilled it?
He's got there.
He's
quicker than Scott Speed. He's already proved that.
Oh, he has.
Not hard. You just put your foot on the accelerator and you're already quicker than him.
Indeed. Which is ironic for a guy called Scott Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that rounds off. That rounds off today. Get involved in the comment section. Keep the conversation going. Want to hear from you guys. Can Logan Sargeant win a race in Formula 1? Can Logan Sargeant become the first American Formula 1 world champion since Mario Andretti in 1978. What are your thoughts? Where do you think his F1 career will go? That is all from us today, though. Thank you all very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.